Let go of everything.
Oh, I feel lost. Lost? What do you mean? Oh, I've been feeling like that a little bit for the past, I don't know, kind of slowly started to, inch its way into myself. Just that thought of, just little thoughts of, what really matters. I don't know exactly what prompted it to pop up, but I don't know, it felt a little overwhelming. And so I did take a break from caffeine for a little bit. It's actually the first time I've had caffeine in 4 days. I haven't gone that long without caffeine in a long ass time. So yeah, I kind of took some of that off, lower the just the everyday anxious feelings you can particularly get if you're in that state of being right now. And I had got to be a little bit more introspective about myself. And so I'm trying to, figure out some things. But one thing I did realize when I got introspective is realizing that, I kind of am living almost every way that I would want to for the most part. Granted how much, with the amount of wealth that I have, it's kind of you can only do so much, but you can do a lot when you don't have all the money in the world. But I'm doing basically everything that I would want to do right now with how much money I have right now. And that kind of made me think. I was like, well, yeah, that is kind of true. So I'm like, why would I have maybe thoughts that are a little bit more negative? You kind of realize that it's just, I don't know, it shouldn't be that way. I mean, like I said, I'm doing everything that I would like to do with what I've got right now, so I should be in a good space. Human minds can be so fucking weird, man. And then I kind of didn't feel joy for certain things. I didn't feel joy for the gym for a little bit. And then I realized I don't feel joy for any one particular thing now. It's kind of I kind of just enjoy my days as a whole. And the reason I don't get super excited for any particular thing is because none of it's really super intense. It's kind of my daily routine. So it's everything is already expected. So it's kind of I kind of look forward to each individual day as a whole, not for one particular thing in that day. So it's kind of my joy is spread out throughout the day and not just oh, the gym is all I have, and then after that, everything fucking sucks. It's kind of well, I have the gym, and then I have some, work, and then I have, video games with the boys. It's kind of everything's just become one big day. So I kind of look forward to each individual day. But, because that's kind of different for me, because normally, with short-term dopamine, I used to be super bad with short-term. I still kind of get caught up every once in a while, but when you have super short-term dopamine, you kind of always look for one big event, one big thing to try to outdo everything else. But it's not that everything doesn't feel nothing, or that everything is pointless. It's kind of like I said, your joy is spread throughout the day, and not just oh, you wait for one particular event. But every once in a while, you gotta take some steps back and be a little bit more bored. But so you gotta add some breaks every once in a while, and then add a day where you don't have any stimulants or anything. I did that yesterday. And the thing is, one of the things that I was realizing with that, that little negative spree, why the camera keeps sliding down, is that I don't need the stimulants. You don't need the stimulants. You kind of sometimes get a little addicted to them, with caffeine and pre-workout, and if you take any recreationals, sometimes that can get a little bit addicting, and then you kind of become dependent on it, and then it stops not being as good because you use it all the time. And you gotta take a step back and realize that, oh yeah, these aren't really necessary. I don't need these. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Yeah, you don't really need caffeine. I think I kind of worried about that for a little bit. I didn't want to take days off of caffeine because I was like, oh man, if I don't have caffeine, I'm gonna get a headache. I'm gonna be tired. I'm not gonna want to do anything. I'm just gonna want to sit around, and I'm not gonna be productive at that point. And then well, what's the point of that? And I think the reason I had those negative thoughts a little bit more powerful is because I was using caffeine so much that my dependency and my tolerance was so high that since I wasn't reaching that threshold, like basically every day, it's basically like I wasn't living like fully every day because I wasn't, reaching that threshold. So taking a couple steps back definitely helped a little bit and lower the intensity. I still had those thoughts when I wasn't on caffeine, but that's only because I was basically reminiscing and thinking like, oh shit, I got to really focus on those thoughts because why did I have them? But now I'm gonna make sure that I take I take proper days without caffeine. And what these days without caffeine taught me is that I can do everything that I would normally do without caffeine. So I don't need any of these stimulants. I don't need any of that. It's just a little boost. So I'm having caffeine right now. I might have it tomorrow too, but then I have a day off from the gym, and I'm gonna probably take off from that again. But now we got chest and back, and it's gonna be a pretty good chest and back. Let's get right to it. Ooh. I think I need to switch the routine up some way, shape, or form. Get a little more excitement into my life. Because what I do is fun, but it's not like exciting. Actually, thrilling. It's nice to have one of those every once in a while. Something that's super exciting. Get your heart pumping. It sucks. It's the boring work that is what propels you forward. But sometimes to get to the fun shit, you gotta be a little bored, be a little mundane. It's not any one workout that'll get you shredded. It's the lump sum of all of them. Oh shit. So we gotta get a lump sum to get shredded as fuck. I think this is gonna be the one I put. I just like this angle for the T-bar row, for my videos at least. With the light in the background, kind of like this illuminates everything perfectly. But, as I said, I don't always get excited for my workouts. Still gotta do them. Just, like, even if you get to a point where you're only doing it because you feel like it, because you're excited for it, you're not gonna make gains. It's like you don't feel excited to drink water every day, but you know you gotta do it. So it's something like that. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna do it just to do it in a bad way. It's still good for you in general. You also gotta look at things like that. Like even if you don't want to work out, you also gotta think like, oh, you don't maybe necessarily want to drink water, you still gotta drink water. So I kind of look at it that way. I kind of get worried, like if I don't feel excited for something, then that means it's like, well, I'm not able to stop doing it. Like, no, that's not true. That's not how it works. You're not always gonna be excited about everything. That's why you gotta spice it up every once in a while, Like one day, like, oh, I'm gonna go for this, see what I can bench press max on this, It's kind of like why people bench press max, because it's a little bit more exciting other than the same mundane workout every day. But speaking about exciting things, there's supposed to be some crazy storms coming into the Midwest tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. I'm a storm junkie, even though I don't fucking never chased one, but I want to. Fuck. God damn. It's just getting heavy now that I'm not bulking anymore. But that's fine. I'm back looking pretty thick right now. As I've been sitting here in between sets, I think I kind of realized what my problem was. Finally, I think I realized it. I think I was a cortisol maxer. I genuinely was, and ever since I started like lowering my cortisol, like I said, my caffeine wasn't really hitting like crazy. I think ever since I started realizing lowering my cortisol, that's why I haven't really been like super excited for certain things. Because it first started, I was playing GTA 5, and I kind of was just sitting there, and I was like, I wasn't feeling any fucking crazy. Like I wasn't feeling like, oh yeah, I get to play GTA. I was kind of just sitting there, and like all of a sudden, a wave overcame me where I was just like, what am I doing? But there's nothing inherently wrong with that, with just playing GTA, because I mean, like if it's your off day, then you can do whatever you want. I mean, like if it's your free time and you want to do something like that, then that's fine. But it's like, I think I was productivity in cortisol maxing, towards like if I wasn't stressed out about doing this thing, then it's like, well, I might as well not be doing it. I think I was associating cortisol, increased cortisol, and like stress with, oh, I was doing something right. But I'm like, no, like it just doesn't make any sense. And I kind of feel like that's what it was. It's like I don't feel joy for the workout, but it's only because like I feel like because I'm not like super like crazy amped and like, oh, I gotta stress about getting this next set, or I'll just hype myself up all the time. I think that's what the problem is. There's one of the things. Like, so I've been purposely trying to lower my cortisol the past month, and I think that might be one of the things. Like I said, I got to be more introspective. If I really like went out into nature, if I like took a trip out into nature for like an entire day and just sat in the middle of the woods, I'd probably figure it out with no phone, no nothing, just sitting there and just like contemplating. Probably figure out exactly what I need. But I kind of had to figure it out slowly over time, to slowly start crossing things off the list and then realizing, oh shit, this is what I actually needed to do. That's entirely possible because like when I go through my whole day trying to figure out like why would I feel like what am I doing? There was nothing inherently wrong with what I was doing. So I was like, it's probably because my cortisol is low and I'm like I'm not fucking super amped all the time. So that's what caffeine and pre-workout does. It kind of like raises cortisol because you're like super amped. You're like, oh, I got to be awake and alert. Since I took a break, let my nervous system recover. It doesn't hurt as much right now to have a lot of caffeine. One more. Whew. 7. Oh, shit's getting a little heavier. Ooh. Open it up. Oh. A little lightheaded. Okay. But that's just something to think about. Are you really cortisol maxing? Is that really what you're doing? It could be what you're doing. Cortisol maxing. Alright. Woo! ChatGPT just kind of confirmed what I was saying. My brain and my body were so used to high stimulation from, increased cortisol and everything, that now that I've become kind of lower to it over time, I've kind of like lowered it. My body is just not used to that. If everything seems kind of dull, and like mundane, or just kind of just like, you know, I'm just going through the motions. Because I wasn't really like intensely excited for anything. But so I'm gonna take off more on caffeine. That way my body can get more used to like genuine excitement instead of having to rely on caffeine and like fucking high fucking anxiety to keep things going. And I just feel like it's like fucking a regular person's supposed to feel. So that's nice if that is 100% what it was. It's kind of a mix because I kind of was running on caffeine a lot. I noticed I would like, I didn't, even on my off days, I would want to do caffeine just so I could feel a little more excitement. And be like, well, that's not how life is really supposed to be lived. So it's kind of, it's nice being reassured, but ChatGPT tends to do that a lot. It's kind of, but it does make sense though. Like what I was looking up and then what it told me, it makes sense. ChatGPT does try to fucking get on your good side every time you ask it something, but it does make sense. Oh. Anxiety and everything should only be increased during specific events, and then once the event is over, then it goes back down. But if you're constantly running on that fucking like hyper focus, you know, all like that, like if you like before a big race or something, if you're always running on that, then once you come down from that, it just seems boring. So kind of makes sense. It makes a little bit more sense now why it didn't make sense at first, because I'm like I'm doing everything that I would normally do, but all of a sudden it feels like boring and mundane, and I feel like it's worthless. It's not worthless. It's just I was fucking so running on high alertness all the time that when I'm not, I'm like, oh wow, this feels like a big drop. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Woo! Yes. Awesome. Alright. Back it over to some back exercises. Single arm cable rows. Those are some of my favorite. You get a good stretch and contraction. Hell yeah. Let's get it going, baby. Ooh. Single arm cable rows. These ones are really nice. I'll make it a little bit better. You come down instead of sitting on the bench. Hold on, I got a burp. Now, instead of sitting on the bench, you just put your hip into the back of the pad right here. Luckily, my legs are just long enough that my short legs are just long enough that I can push and do this properly. Also, I like having my grip right on the middle of this thing. Doing like more of an underhand grip too. Start with the weaker side first. Alright. The pants got caught. So I don't want to rip them. At the bottom of the rep, once you really get in there, kind of like twist it in and pour like deep into your body. And then at the top, you want to kind of let your teres major get a little stretch in there too. Fuck. Holy shit. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. Definitely one more of those. That's fucking good. Little back angle. The pump cover is off. I'm a little toasty in that thing. That means it's doing its job. Keeping me warm. Get a little sweat going. I need to sit in the sauna more. Sweat out the microplastics and toxic metals from the chemtrails. But this gym doesn't have a sauna, and the day pass to the gym that does have a sauna is $15, man. Well, it's $13 for the city residents, but I'm like, we're at $13 for a day pass just so I can go sit in the sauna. Like, you might as well just put a fucking sauna suit on, honestly. I am noticing a little bit more definition though. Stay like 10? Yeah, but 10 or 11, something like that. So we'll see what I look like in a couple of weeks. Also, I'm going to be doing that. I'll be doing 30-day updates. No physique checks every day like I would normally do. We're doing 30-day segments. That way I can see a big old gap. Yeah, that'll look nice. So don't worry about every single little fucking change through the day. Because you're not going to notice changes most of the time, day to day. Some days you might hold on to a little bit more water and look puffy, and you're like, well, fuck, my gains aren't working. So I'm just going to do 30 days, stick to my plan, and then see progress that way. Oh shit! You're just seeing like some of the gyms lighting. That's crazy. Okay, crazy, man. Jesus Christ. I need to stop doing that because I want it to be a 30-day transformation. Like every 30 days, I don't want to see me every single day. But it was a little bit hot in this, so I'm going to start wearing short sleeve shirts. Ooh, back over to some chest. Alright. One of my favorite chest exercises for upper pecs. It's very low to high cable fly. You kind of just grab it, just to show you. I don't have to explain it, I can really just show you. Come out here, try to like straighten your body out. Got a mirror, luckily. Just here and just lower, and just bring it up. Hey. that with on free, you can really like touch your press and see, feel which fibers are firing off. Holy shit. Oh yeah. I think I got a little bit of blood flow into the fucking pec. Just possibly. Oh. Shit. Got some cleavage going on. Fucking his sad drink up on top of here. And it would just sit there. Yes. Only one of those though. Whew. God damn, my chest looks fat. Oh. Holy shit. Hell yeah. Alright. On to some type of back exercise. Alright. Now, depending on how this feels, I may do 1 or 2 sets. Single arm, cable, like a trap row, and like pull up. But I don't want to do the dumbbells anymore because it feels like it torques my body too much, especially when like I got 140 pounds in one arm. I'm just like, I just feel like my spine and rib cage is all not in a good way. So we'll do this, and I get like a constant fucking tension on it. Feels a lot better. Speaking about all the stuff earlier, it's gonna take a while for me to get used to it, but I think I'm gonna take off caffeine for a while, be a little bit more, at least until my body and mind is like into a better spot, where I'm not anxious as much, and then add caffeine back. But I want to try to be in more of a calm state all the time. So one way to definitely do that is by taking out caffeine for a while, because caffeine definitely increases all that, makes you like more fucking hyper and kind of a little more anxious. So if I take that out, my workout will be a lot more stable, won't have any crashes, be a lot better for me mentally. Oh, that felt good. I'm doing another one of those. Oh yeah, I'm doing another one of those. Oh shit, that was good. Alright, we're gonna start a new trend. Introspective maxing. Okay? Introspective maxing. Start paying attention to your thoughts, emotions, and your physical well-being more often. Kind of goes hand in hand with bodybuilding. You got to be introspective about what works for you, food-wise, training-wise, rest, recovery-wise, everything. You got to be introspective with everything: physical, mental, emotional. If you're a spiritual type of person, you're spiritual. Fuck. We're gonna up it. There we go. A little head start. Oh. Oh. Also, when you're doing these, when you're at the bottom of the rep, kind of like lean away from it and get a nice more stretch right here at the top of your trap. I didn't do that enough for the left side, but we're gonna go one more set, finish off, not here, but finish off with some, and we'll be done. All right, pull-ups. Finish off the pull-up sets. Now that I don't, I'm not bulking and lifting as heavy as, I mean, I'm lifting heavy, but no, I'm gonna be able to do a little bit more exercise when I'm cutting. Because when you're bulking, you got that carbs in your system, you got that extra carbohydrate tension, glycogen tension. You can lift heavier, but your muscles aren't really the ones doing that. It's like when you're super bulked up, it's like having elbow straps. You can bench a little bit more with the elbow straps than you can without them. So it's kind of like that. So more than your body can actually handle, so your body gets tired easier. And when you're cutting, and you can only lift as much as your muscles can, you can do a little bit more volume. So we're going to finish off with one set of pull-ups. So like I said, looking at the mirror from far away, when I do this, just opening up just to do a front like this, I feel like I got like a fucking very mature like front double bi, which I'm very happy with. May not show it all the time, but I'm happy with my front double bi. Fuck. Oh, I'm really trying to like just hold the teres major pull. Now we're done. I might do a final little car top. Let's see. All right. I guess if I were to give some final thoughts, it would be to just become more introspective. I thought I was for a while. I thought I was super aware of myself. But there were certain things that I guess I just wasn't totally aware of. I didn't realize I was like basically cortisol maxing, or just like adrenaline maxing, trying to always run off and do everything off of adrenaline and being like fucking pumped up and hyped and all that. So every time I'm like, whenever, like I said, the caffeine, whenever I become too tolerant to caffeine and it wasn't really hitting the same, because especially when you do pre-workout, it's an instant, like when you drink coffee, you sip on it, so it kind of slowly hits your system and it doesn't really like spike it as much. But when you take pre-workout, fuck, I got a bunch of hangnails, dude. When you take pre-workout, that's one big surge of like 300-400 milligrams of caffeine, depending how much you have. And then if you get used to that, and that's like your super stimulating high, like when you come off of that, nothing's really going to seem as intense or exciting anymore. So then you're going to try and do it again so it seems more exciting. So one, you got to take caffeine breaks if you want to keep doing that. But I think I was doing that for everything. Like if I didn't feel super excited, then it was just like everything seems mundane. But that's kind of like the whole point, is like, it is kind of boring. Most of life is kind of boring, and there's very few instances where things are really exciting. So if you're kind of constantly living at that fucking heightened thing, then, you know, once it stops working, then everything's going to feel a lot less down, which I mean, it's supposed to. And it's only supposed to be certain events, like, you know, like I said, like a big race or a big event. And then that's when you're supposed to feel like a heightened fucking adrenaline. And then once that race or event is over, Then you come back down and live normal life. But it's only supposed to be like one event, not every day. So that's probably what my problem was. So I'm going to take like a whole week off of caffeine and see if I start getting a little bit more like excitement. I feel like I was. Like, I feel like towards like yesterday, I started like around day 3 or whatever, I started feeling like just a little bit more like, you know, like more higher energy baseline, because my body wasn't used to that. My body was like kind of coming off of the caffeine. So I'm going to try, probably not do it. I'm going to not do it tomorrow. I'm going to go days without it and see how I start to feel a little bit more excited about everything. So I'll see how that goes. But it was a really good chest and back workout. Oh, become more introspective. Final words. Peace.